How the power of social media is the power of inquiry. How many of us buy dictionary now? How many of us use dictionary? When you know that all you need to do to have any information, anything, is just go to the Google, go to everything, define or give an idea about what CDS. You get all the information. Similarly, it's the fact that we use social media for sharing. We are here, we take the pictures, take the video, and we are sharing it to everybody in London, America. It can go to 100 million people. These are some of the powerful tools of social media. And coordination, even operation. We coordinate our activity. We have WhatsApp groups of editors, WhatsApp group in our newsroom, WhatsApp group, and whatever. For coordination, this actually what makes social media to be inevitable in our life. But the problem, like I said, is about what I'm going to say now. Now, when I go to the next slide, one thing that we haven't realized the fact that something changed to bad. Recently, 2 years ago, one of the social media platforms was suspended in this country. Many people making noise, oh, if we are not going to survive. But surprisingly, that social media that was suspended, even though it was called, when it comes about ranking about the population, about how many populations they have, you'll be shocked. It's not ranked in the first class, second class, third class, based on what you are seeing there. Why? When you look at its global ranking in terms of population of Facebook users, all these ones that have more than 2 billion followers, that's the number one, like Facebook 2.8 billion, YouTube 2.1 billion, and WhatsApp 2.2 billion. These are some people that are extremely powerful. Most of them are more than any nation, even continents. We now have WeChat that came 1.2, and Instagram 1 billion, LinkedIn 7.4. In fact, Twitter is came to 4. It's less than all the followers everywhere in the world, including Nigeria, Africa, America. They are less than 300. But I don't want to talk about some of the debate we have been talking about here. But let's go to the next slide. Now, here we are. Between social movement and terrorism in cyberspace, I talk about affordability, anonymity, and connectivity. Something happened 2020. Now, let's look at what is social movement. Social media is an organized effort by a group of people to achieve a particular goal, typically a social or political one. This may be to carry out, resist, or undo a social change. There's nothing wrong with that. Terrorism and other people that use social media for other vices is mostly for politically motivated use of computer and information technology to cause severe disruption or widespread fear. Both of them, whether terrorism, whether social movement, both of them have some benefit. You can use the same to achieve this in social media. One, social movement, terrorists, they use the same to raise funds. Two, social movement, terrorists, they use it to recruit members. Terrorists, social movement, they use it to compete with activists. Terrorists, activists, they use it to get volunteers to train them, they exchange ideas, and then they coordinate effort. Even though I use attack here, it can be used in either way. And I'll go to the next slide. This is what happened. That image was shared more than 2 million times. It was fake. Surprisingly, some of my colleagues, I don't need to mention media houses, they use it on their broadcast station. This is what happened. Unfortunately, somebody didn't even apologize. Why? Because some people have become the merchant of fake news. And what they do is deliberately create and spread this information for the purpose of to confuse, to misinform, to fool, to mislead, to betray, and to misinform people. The effect of this objective is what you see on the other side. You see what happened during the answers. With this fake news that were shared, many were what? They are blinded. The reform sentiment. You start seeing people talking for ethnic background until like that religious issue. They divide the society, plunge society into conflicts, destruction, killing of police, killing of soldiers, jailbreak, and so on and so forth from social media. They call it social movement. I don't know whether they are terrorists. They also inflame bad judgment. Even the legislature were even very cautious. They have great hunger. They induce mob attack. They trigger extremism. All these things caused by social media fake news. And guess one thing? The fake news is not only spread in the social media, but even some of our media houses. Why is this still happening? The question is, we now go to the next slide. During that answer, look at these faces. There, I'll keep on talking about the fact that yes, that sometimes we can have what we call misinformation, which is different from disinformation. Misinformation can be innocently information you are misled and you share it. There's nothing wrong in that, but sometimes you need to fact check. These 4 images, the first one, during that answer, they say this man, Asiwaju Tinubu, jetted out to France and instructed the military to kill protesters. Surprisingly, some of the traditional media published it. And guess one thing? He used one of his media strategy. He called the press, addressed the press. It's not true, even for some of them. The second one, Wole Soyinka. They say that he was telling the Igbos to leave Yoruba land during that period, 4 days after. Do you know what he did? He also used media tools. He's a writer, he wrote a lengthy article to deny it. That's why they tell a lie against him. The third one, that's Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, former Minister of Foreign Affairs. They say he was attacking Tinubu, that Tinubu must be dealt with. His own, he didn't write article, he didn't call press, he did a video to say, look, they're lying, it's not true. And the fourth one is Femi Adesina. They said he asked Buhari not to scrap SARS. And they even say that he was instigating the military attack. So now you can see all he has to now, his own case, instead of addressing press or writing article or doing video, he responded on Twitter, on social media. When I go to the next slide, now the culprit of all these fake news are there's collaboration between the culprit and the victims, and all of them are collaborators. The major one, especially when we published one book recently, we call it 101 Fake News on Answer. We read that most of the major culprits actually are the media. Not social media, traditional media, and politicians, and terrorists, and fraudsters. That's why we have Yahoo boys. But who are the victims? Those who don't, lazy mind, gullible public, uneducated, or fanatics. That's where some of us will know, when you see the video, when you see a photo. We are going to age where by this age, the practice we practice about journalism to fact-check issue is gone beyond just investigation. Investigative journalism is one method you can use, and now there is a lot of tools, social media, fact-checking tools that you can use to determine the content of a story, to determine whether the video is new or fake, to determine whether the image was manipulated, and so on. We need to enhance our skill about how this. Now look at those images too. Amnesty International, they claim that 12 people were killed in Lekki. Go back. Surprisingly, all our media were saying that amnesty. There's nowhere amnesty claim that 12 people were killed in Lekki. Go and look at the statement. They said 12 people by police and army in Alausa and Lekki. I even spoke to some of them. But that is by the side. But one of the respected platform people goes to, Wikipedia, went ahead and said Amnesty claimed that 120 Nigerians were killed at Lekki Answer. It takes the appear Nigeria after 1 year that was there to debunk it and provide the link before Amnesty dropped 120 people killed to 12. You see? Now go to the other one. Those are Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria. They did a protest about armed banditry in March. But when they were doing answer, they said the Catholic bishops are marching for answer. Religious body. Look at these women there. They say Muslim women are out in Katsina protesting in support of answer. These are members of Shiite protesting for the freedom of their leader. What about the other one? I said I won't mention the media now because my guy, my senior. Did Lady Switch was there, was blaming video, and one of the respected media broadcast station that has international standard and things like that was whooking. Look at soldiers like snipers, army snipers were shooting protesters. They were using it. Surprisingly, the following day, the media also take the honor to apologize because there was nothing like sniper. It was a technician of Access Bank that was fixing the mast, and they say snipers. The media house actually apologized. So what we're trying to say is that we need to do more, especially as journalists. And most of the media take all these things, line and sinker. When I go to the next slide, the solution to this one is the fact that there are a lot of tools that we can use to determine whether stories are fake or not. Investigative journalism, and there's a lot of fake, but I have less than 1 minute to finish this. But the facts remain that at this level, I strongly believe the media can also help and support us in creating awareness. The solution is how to create awareness about the danger of fake news. Public awareness. And there's need for legislation. Why legislation? For broadcast station, no broadcast station can publish any fake news without being sanctioned by NBC, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission. They are here, they know that. What about the print media, the magazine and newspaper? They can't do anything because Nigerian Print Council is there to sanction them. What about Facebook, Twitter, social media? Nothing. There's need for legislation. And when there's legislation, there's need for enforcement to caution people. And in addition, there's need to sanction those who misbehave. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say here is that with social media, we should use it to fight against fake news and hate speech, to strengthen our democracy, empower, and to unite our people. In essence, when I talk about national interest and national security, we should not sacrifice our collective human interests for individual self-hand by abiding by the golden rule in our social interaction. General Sir, this is the end of my slides. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Please, can we give our resource person another resounding round of applause? We will now go into the next item on our program, which is the interactive session, a period that the media editors will interact very well with the Chief of Defense Staff. Before we do that, we will humbly request our cameramen to please just excuse us for a few minutes. This is going to be a close interaction between the Chief of Defense Staff and the media personalities. Please, our cameramen, just step out. You'll be called back inside after a few minutes. Thank you very much.